Hey guys, I hope you're well. So I just wanted to share a step-by-step way or method that I follow in order to go about executing trades on a day-to-day basis. Now, first of all, we'll have to analyze the higher time frames because on the higher time frames, they are the ones that are going to tell us whether price has a high chance of pushing up or a high chance of pushing down. Now, with the daily time frame, as you can see, price is currently breaking the lows. So whenever price is breaking the lows, we expect price to maintain its bearish structure. So for an example, whenever we see price breaking the lows, we already know that price is currently bearish. Now, as you can see that price has been creating these nice lower lows and lower highs. So right now, price has created a lower low, and then we have created a pullback. Now, after each and every pullback, we need to start identifying potential areas or potential zones where we would like to take some trading opportunities from. Now, as you can see from around this area here, we are expecting price to create that next lower low. But another thing to take note of is that price hasn't traded above the 50% level. So again, as I mentioned, that price doesn't have to, because at some point in time, if you wait for a perfect setup, you'll find yourself missing out on a lot of trades. So there's no such thing as a perfect a perfect setup. So for now, I have identified some uh, bearish order blocks. As you can see, we have these two order blocks, and this particular order block here, let me just try and zoom in. This particular order block here, it has been holding price for the longest time. I mean, we came in for the first time, we came in for the first time around this area here. Got a reaction. We got in for the second time. We got a significant reaction to show us that price right now might potentially start pushing to the downside. We created another pullback back into that order block, and then we got another reaction to the downside. Now, these are some potential signs that we can look for in order for price to, somewhat give us an idea whether it's going to push to the downside or continue being bullish. Again, we created an internal break of structure around that area there, right? So created an internal break of structure. So as you can see, the internal structure there, it is currently showing signs of being bearish. Now, majority of the time when it comes to internal structure, internal structure normally translates into swing structure on a lower time frame. Now, if we scale down to the 4-hour time frame, now on the 4-hour time frame, let me just hide this for now. So on the 4-hour time frame, we need to understand something, right? On the 4-hour time frame, we need to understand something. Is price breaking the lows, right? So that's something that we need to ask ourselves, because right now we are currently anticipating price to create that continuation to the downside. So looking at price, price created this high. This was the first time when price tapped into that daily time frame order block. We had a bit of a reaction, and then we grabbed some liquidity above this high. Now, after grabbing liquidity there, we created a break of structure to the downside, right? So we created this nice break of structure to the downside. We created a reversal to a bearish order block around that area there, and then we had a significant push to the downside. So as you can see, um, we are expecting price to, somewhat push to the downside. We are seeing price reacting from bearish order blocks, which means that the bearish structure right now could have potentially started, and that's what we are currently looking for at this point in time. Now, from here, as you can see, price created this complex pullback around this area here. which breaks an internal high. But again, price respects what? Price respects a bearish order block, right? So after price respected that bearish order block, now we are maintaining the bearish structure, right? So we are maintaining the bearish structure. So as you can see here, we eventually create that internal break of structure, and we significantly create that break of structure to the downside. Now, which brings us to this particular entry here, right? So on this particular entry here, we know and understand that right now, price has a high chance of, reacting from supply zones, because on the daily time frame, do not forget, we are currently looking for price to push to the downside. So in order for us to play that, next possible price movement on the daily time frame, which is price pushing to the downside, we would like to see the 4-hour time frame translating into whatever that we are currently anticipating on the daily time frame. Now, from the daily time frame perspective, not necessarily the daily time frame, but the 4-hour time frame perspective, as I mentioned, that we have recently created a breakout structure here. So, based on what we are anticipating right now, we are anticipating that price will push to the downside, right? So, as price will be pushing to the downside, we expect to be looking for some selling opportunities from areas of supply or from bearish order blocks. Now, looking at these order blocks that are up here, as you can see, price created this order block, price pulled back and mitigated that order block. We created a push to the downside to create some breakout structure. We reacted from another bearish order block for price to significantly create a breakout structure below this low. Now, I have been anticipating the price will eventually create a pullback into that particular 4-hour time frame order block, and I even shared it on my entry signals, right? So as you can see, this is the entry signal. So I've analyzed this beforehand. So as you can see from here, we have been tagged. Price almost took us out. So right now, right? Let's say, for an example, you're someone who has missed out on this particular trade, and you'd like to, play this continuation to the downside. So, what you can do is you can rinse and repeat, right? Do not forget that on the daily time frame, we waited for price, right? So we waited for price to do what? We waited for price to pull back to an area of supply, and then we scaled down to the 4-hour time frame to try and see if the price action they won't be printing any bearish structure. So as you can see, we are currently printing out some bearish structure, and you can still execute a trade on the 4-hour time frame bearish order block. So that's what I mentioned. Now let's try and repeat the same process based on the 4-hour time frame structure and the 30-minute time frame or the 15-minute time frame structure, right? So do not forget that whenever price starts tapping into a higher time frame order block, we want to start seeing what we want to start seeing price on the lower time frames creating some signals so that it wants to be bearish. So in this case, we can still scale down to the 30-minute time frame. So and then we try and investigate what's happening within that particular order block. So from here, we can see that on the 30-minute time frame, his price tapped into the 4-hour time frame order block. So price was initially creating those nice higher highs and higher lows. So this is the most recent breakout structure around this area here, right? So this is the most recent breakout structure around this area here. And then whenever price started tapping into the 4-hour time frame order block, we started creating some nice lower lows, internal lower lows and lower highs around these areas here. So as you can see, supply is currently holding price. But again, that doesn't mean, sorry, but that doesn't mean that we can look for some selling opportunities right away, simply because the internal structure is now printing out some lower lows and lower highs. No, we need some additional confirmation, because do not forget that in order for us to get a trend change, the price needs to do what? Price needs to invalidate the most recent low that led to a break of structure. Now, this is the most recent low that eventually led to price creating a break of structure around that area there. So as you can see, we eventually created this break of structure. So we are currently trading within this range low and this range high. So if ever we want to start looking for some potential selling opportunities, we would have to wait for price to break the most recent low, right? So this is the most recent low. So did we get that break of structure there? Yes, we got that break of structure. And again, there's nothing wrong with looking for selling opportunities from these supply zones here. But for me, I don't like to trade based on internal structure. I normally wait for the string structure to get invalidated first before I can start looking for any trading opportunities. So we eventually created that swing breaker structure, and then right now, it's a good time to potentially look for those entry confirmations. Now, around this area here, as we can see, that price has created that trend change, and then we are waiting for price to reverse back into this particular order block so that we can get a reaction to the downside, right? So that's what I'm currently waiting for on volatility 75 index. So we'll just see on how it goes about playing out, and I'll eventually give out an update within the community there. So I'll just give out an update at a later stage whenever we are tapped into this entry confirmation here. But do not forget that I've already executed a trade based on the 4 hour time frame order block, because I have been anticipating that price will eventually pull back to the 4 hour time frame order block. But right now, I'm looking for those re-entries, because I'm seeing that the 4 hour time frame order block is currently holding price. And right now, I might, start scaling in order to maximize my profits. Anyway, I just hope you managed to, somewhat get a grasp on how I go about looking for some trading opportunities on a day-to-day basis. And yeah, so basically, it's as easy as it is. You just identify a higher time frame or a point of interest. You scale down on a lower time frame, and then you want to see if ever structure will be printing out either lower lows or lower highs, depending if ever you're looking for selling opportunities, you'd like to see structure creating those lower lows and lower highs. And if ever you're looking for some buying opportunities, you'd like to see structure creating those higher highs and higher lows. Anyway, guys, I just hope you managed to grasp a thing or two from this particular setup, and I'll see you on the next one.